Okay, so we're back with the second part of our videos where I've gone through my gaming collection and I've tried to fish out all the turds that are floating in the bowl. If there's any games that you want on this list, drop me a line and I'll gladly burn them in front of you just for a laugh. But let's crack on with the Purge. Bollocks! So the first game that we're going to get rid of is one that was actually agonising over for no bloody good reason. It's hot. I mean, this is actually quite an enjoyable, stupid game. What you're going to be doing, you're going to be chucking a ring over somebody's finger, but you'll be doing it in the dungeon fighter sort of style where you have to maybe stand on one leg or maybe kill somebody while doing it. This box is far too big for my shelf, but what I might do is just take the cards and the ring out and just chuck the rest of the shit in the bin. So yeah, hop, an overproduced, stupid game that you could probably play with like a piece of pasta. So next game is Lords of Zidit. We picked this up in the works for about £2. I've never played it. I think it's like a dice game or something like that. So look, I think it's unpunched. Yeah, it's completely unpunched. So, well, apart from something that fell out, but I don't know. Apparently it's a dice game. It goes for peanuts. There's no point in trying to take it to a charity shop because that wouldn't be fair on the poor. The next game is The Crew. I fucking hate this piece of shit game. I know it's not going to sit well with a lot of people because a lot of people do actually like this game. This is a trick-taking game that is cooperative. It's just a steaming pile of elephant poo, in my opinion. So if you're going to get upset about liking The Crew when I don't, fight me. The next game is the game that put Uwe Rosenberg on the map. It's Bonanza. This is a game about planting beans. It was good a few years ago, but over time it's just turned into the stinky bean that is actually in it. It's not a bad game, but we just haven't picked it up for ages and it's taken up room on the shelf, and as a result it's going into the dumpster. The next game is Marvel Dice Masters. This was recently on my top 5 Eric Lang games. This shows how much I like Eric Lang games. This is a dice driven skirmish game where you'll be facing off against different people from the Marvel comic universe. I don't know, just Marvel's just lost its appeal over the years. I just want to go back to the 80s. I know that makes me a Luddite. I don't care. Here is a Pokemon card game. I don't know what this is doing in my collection. It's called The Sun and Moon. I don't even know what this is, but it looks like a pile of crap, and that's good enough for me. Into the toilet. Next game is Katan Jr. I saw this being played on the old Will Wheaton tabletop show a few years ago, and I picked it up. It just didn't play like it did on there. I just don't like this game at all. My 2 eldest kids can play Katan, no problem. And this is really just sort of a slap in the face to children's intelligence. It's far too simple. Component quality is nice, but it's going into the trash. Here's a game by Don Eskridge. This is Abandoned Planet. This is the bloke who did The Resistance. I think we picked this up when it was released. It's never been played because whenever we think of Don Eskridge, we always think of The Resistance. So I don't even know if this has been punched. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the punching. Don't really know much about it. I have read that it is a pile of shit and I'm not giving it the benefit of the doubt. So here's a game that we picked up on Kickstarter many moons ago, but it turned out to be a steaming pile of horseshit. It's Zombie Tower 3D. This, believe it or not, is a 3D game. I know it looks absolutely fantastic on the back of the box, but believe you me, this is a disaster waiting to happen. In fact, I'm hoping that somebody burns this tower down into the ground. This is an absolute steaming pile of dump. And I'm going to burn it in my garden when I'm finished with this video. Here's a game that isn't too bad, but we're just never ever going to play it. It's Ecosystem. This is a tile laying game in the vein of, I suppose, Carcassonne, but once you've played it a couple of times, it really doesn't do anything else. It's relatively simple. You're just going to be sort of trying to chain different types of animals together. And yeah, I don't know. Whilst it's not a bad game, there's really no point in hanging on to games that you're never ever going to play again. This is one of those times when you want climate change to actually cause a problem. So the final game on this list is a real stinker. This is probably the game that I hate the most in the world. It's the Game of Ham. Don't ask me why it's called the Game of Ham. This is a Cards Against Humanity style piece of shit. It really is a load of crap. They've tried to take Cards Against Humanity and turn it into a game with a board, and it's just awful. It's so bad, I'm not even going to take this down a charity shop. Now that my fuel bills have almost tripled, I'll probably use this as firewood. This is one of the worst games ever made. I think I've just been sick of my mouth because This is awful. So there you go, that is the next 10 games that we're getting rid of. I don't know, maybe you want to punch yourself in the face instead of watching the next episodes, because this is going to get really, really bad. See you in the next one.